And what we're going to cover is a system. And having a system is very, very important, because having a system, it allows you to leverage your time, leverage your team, and leverage your content. Because systems make things scalable. And if you don't have scale in your business, it's most likely because you don't have systems in place. Let me repeat that for you. If you don't have scale in your business, it's most likely because you don't have systems in place. And what I mean by that is you're just working ad hoc. You're not actually following a scalable system that helps you grow your business that you can rely on. Because systems allow you to scale your traffic, grow your content across the web, they allow you to grow your profits, and at the end result, grow your bank balance. But when it comes to scaling content production, most people don't think about scaling content production. They think about scaling backlinks. They think about scaling low-level content, if they do think of scaling content in any form at all, by outsourcing really low-quality articles simply to generate backlinks. But as you're going to learn in this video, in this system, we keep control of the most important part of the content creation process. You see, the content leverage system helps you leverage your time, use your team more efficiently, let your team do the mechanics, and you put the you in the content. This allows you to scale the content production as long as you have this system. And in the process, you create the core piece of content. You then use systems and leverage to outsource the mechanics of the content's context creation. Now, what you see on the screen in front of you in this video is the entire process map. I'm going to walk you through this process step by step. Now, this process has a point. So the benefits of this particular system and what you're going to be able to take away at the end of this video and implement for your business straight away is a system that allows you to syndicate your content across the web to reach your audience across different platforms and different modalities. You're going to be able to reach people in a visual context, in an auditorial context, in a written context, and a whole bunch of other ways as well once you implement the system you see in front of you. You'll also learn how to leverage your core piece of content for use with tools such as article syndicators to get smart syndication and backlink diversity to achieve top rankings in the search engines. Plus, I'm also going to practice what I preach. And below this video, you've got access to a bunch of different formats of this piece of content. So make sure you check them out once you understand the entire puzzle. So the first step in this whole process is to create a mind map. You want to capture your thoughts of the piece of content you're creating. So it might be a video just like this. It might be some training material for your own niche. It might just be an information-based piece of content you're creating to educate or bond with your list. The way I do this is through creating a mind map. And the software I use to get my mind map down is MyNode. That's my preferred software application. It comes on the Mac. It also has an iPhone and iPad option as well, and they sync very, very well. You may have heard other people talk about tools such as iThoughts HD or FreeMind, which is Mac and PC compatible. It doesn't really matter what software you actually use to get your thoughts and capture them in a place. Now, the reason I use a mind map is because I can structure the content in a way that works really, really well for step 2 and step 3 that we'll touch on in a moment. So when you actually create your mind map, you want to put a structure around it. And the way I do that is I keep the key topics as branches off the main mind map, because these will become the slides in a video presentation that will be created further down the system. And then the more detail you want to go into about that particular topic or branch becomes the sub-branches. In turn, they become the bullet points of a slide. So rather than creating the slide up front, you actually capture all your thoughts in a mind map. Now, I've got a quick tip for this particular step, and I'll have quick tips for every step along the way as well. When you're creating the mind map, I really encourage you to capture it and create all your thoughts in a clockwise direction. And it will make sense when we move on to the next step. And that next step is to actually record yourself talking through the mind map. What you want to do is record an audio track and use the mind map as your notes, as your guide along the way while you create your content. And what you also want to do is record the screen at the same time. So you're capturing the audio version of your mind map, which becomes the core piece of content, but also record the screen at the same time, because this makes step 3, which we'll get to in a minute, a lot easier. And the software I use when I create the screen recording of my mind map is ScreenFlow on the Mac. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this piece of software, and it is fantastic. You can also use Camtasia for the PC. There is a Mac version as well. Or even if you've got short little bits of 5-minute content, Jing is a great resource at Jing Project, which is Mac and PC compatible. So simply just walk your way through the clockwise direction of the mind map and use your mouse to point to the actual elements of the mind map and the branches and sub-branches that you're talking about at any given time. So what's the quick tip for step 2? Well, if you make a mistake, what you want to do is simply pause, do 3 loud claps, and then start at the beginning of the last sentence or the last main branch of the mind map that you actually recorded. So rather than going right back to the start and having to re-record the entire video again, just start at the last main sub-branch and start that with 3 loud claps. The reason you want to do that is because it makes the editing a lot easier. It'll actually show those louder claps at a much higher volume range in the actual timeline of the video that will be edited next. And that brings us to step 3. Because step 3 is where we start to use the leverage. This is where we actually outsource the video creation. Because what you want to do here is actually then start using your team and getting that leverage by sending the screen recording and the mind map to your outsourced team. I do this via Dropbox. Simply you zip up the ScreenFlow file and the mind map and drop them into an already dedicated Dropbox folder that my team monitor. Because this allows you to avoid all the mechanics of the video creation, the transitions, the graphics and the fonts. Those sort of things are not really where the value is. See, in this process, you add the value in the content creation, not the content's context. And as important as context is, you should be only worrying about the content and let your team focus on the context, because this way ensures your content reaches your audience in a manner which they want to receive it, and in all mediums possible. And we'll get to that process to show you how you turn this video of the mind map into a whole range of other mediums as well. Because what we want to do is not focus on the mechanics. As I said before, you let your team go off and create the slides and the graphics based off your original mind map that you can get down very, very quickly. They will go off and make the main branches of your mind map individual slides. They'll then take the sub-branches and make them the bullet points of the slides themselves. They will do the transitions, they will do the fonts, they will do all that sort of great annotation, and you let your team create the finished video. And what they'll do is they'll actually match the slides that they've created with the audio that you recorded in step 2. They'll take the audio file of the ScreenFlow video and match it to your slides to create a final high quality video just like the one you're watching now. Now, the tools my team use to make this happen are slide production software like Keynote or PowerPoint. Most of you will have one of those 2 options on your computer screen right now. And the graphics they use are not just clip art that comes with the software, but things like Presenter Media or Fotolia are 2 great resources for real fun, quirky, engaging graphics that your team can go and use, put into your slideshow. Now, a really cool quick tip for really lifting the professionalism of the videos your team output is looking at something like Fiverr for professionally recorded intros using VideoHive templates. Now, VideoHive is a great resource of templates of video introductions, real fun, high quality, engaging video introductions that can be tailored to your particular video message or content. And Fiverr allows you to find very cheap resources who will customize those templates for you. So that's the tip for step 3. Check out Fiverr and VideoHive. Because remember, step 3 is all about you leveraging the core content which you have created. Because normally when people think about outsourcing, as I mentioned in the introduction, they think they have to outsource the whole process of content creation. They can't just outsource certain elements. But to become a market leader or a market maker, you have to be still creating the core content, but you don't have to create the context. So step 4 is the initial video publication. Once the video has been created, the system goes to work to actually syndicate and leverage this content to get out to the masses. And the first step is obviously to manually upload the video to YouTube. It's the primary source of video viewing on the web, and we all know how good a resource it is. The first thing I do is when we manually upload it to YouTube, I have my team go and use Market Samurai, the original program from the Noble Samurai guys, to do the keyword research. What is the main keyword focus for this particular video? What do I want to rank for, not only in the YouTube search results, but also in the Google search results? Because as we know, videos are being displayed, and when we do some of the things we're going to cover in the next few steps of this system, your video is going to help rank in the Google search results as well. So make sure you use Market Samurai to optimize your video titles, your descriptions, and the tags used when uploading the video. I also then generally will actually create a blog post using the keywords I found from Market Samurai and embed that YouTube video into the blog post, because that will be the primary source for my list or my niche to view the video. Because I'm mostly creating content for followers of my particular niches, and the blog is the primary source of that traffic. So you want to make sure you embed it in there. Again, the quick tip for step 4 is to make sure you use the full address of your blog post, starting with the http:// at the start of your YouTube description. This will help people who find your video through the Google search results or the YouTube search results to actually be able to click on your link and get to your blog and join your list and become a subscriber to your business. So that's the quick tip for step 4. Now, once the video has been uploaded to its initial location on YouTube and embedded onto your blog post, we want to syndicate this video out again to make sure we get the largest reach for the video possible through the web. So you want to distribute the video to the other services. And there's some great tools that allow you to do this with leverage. You can obviously go off and get your team to manually upload to all the different video sharing and hosting sites around, but that can take time. So using leverage tools like HeySpread, Traffic Geyser, and or TubeMogul allow you to do this very, very quickly. They are paid services, some of them are very cost effective and give you huge reach for very little time, which is what leverage is all about. Now the quick tip for step 5 is to have some alternative titles and descriptions ready using different keywords that your team found in step 4 when they were using Market Samurai. So that way your video will rank for different keywords because each different video platform is targeting a different keyword. So you can see so far in just these first 5 steps, all you've had to do is create a mind map of your thoughts and then record the audio of yourself talking through the mind map like I'm doing right now. It's then all about leveraging your team to get the syndication of the video that they created for you out across the web. Now once you have that, another great way to leverage the video is to create a video podcast. Now once you actually have this step completed initially, it's simply a matter of actually getting that video and adding it to the RSS feed, because that's all a podcast actually is just an RSS feed. You can create that RSS feed and submit it to iTunes, so then all the content that you create for your blog automatically becomes a podcast in iTunes and gets you a huge range of new visitors and subscribers. You can also submit that RSS feed to other services as well. Now the tools I recommend you use when creating a podcast, if you don't already have one, is PodPress. It's a great WordPress plugin that automatically creates the RSS feeds for you. It creates the podcast data from your WordPress posts. So in step 5, where your team created that blog post, with the video embedded, PodPress will grab all that information and automatically create the iTunes or podcast RSS feed. The one thing you do need to do though is you need to host the files and submit the feed yourself. So you'll also have to host the videos on something like Amazon S3 or your web host for the podcast to work. Another solution is Podbean. It's a great podcasting service and they take care of everything for you, from hosting to creating the RSS feed and all that sort of stuff for you. Great service. Another solution, if you want to be a little bit more technical and hands-on and have a bit more control, is using a software package like Feeder on the Mac and then a hosting solution called Libsyn, which is a great podcasting hosting service. It's a fully manual process, but you have a lot more power, a lot more control, and a lot more flexibility. And it's the actual service we use for Preneurcast, which is a podcast I do as well, with Dom, who's the person who edits all my videos, like the one you're watching right now. And the quick tip for step 6 is to use FeedBurner to manage the RSS feed. FeedBurner is a service owned by Google that gives you a lot of analytics around your RSS feeds. It can tell you how many people are actually accessing and subscribed to your RSS feeds, how many people downloaded each individual episode of your podcast, where they are, and all the sort of analytical data you'd want to know so you can actually get an understanding of your audience of the podcast. So once you've got that video podcast, what we want to do is start hitting the different modalities, because step 3, 4, and 5 is all about creating the video content, which is at the top of the tree when it comes to video creation, because everything else that you'll see now comes off that original video. Because what we want to do is actually grab the audio from the video. Realistically, it's just the audio from the very first ScreenFlow video you recorded and turn that into an MP3 file. So you can rip the audio from that original video recording and you've got an MP3 file that can become an audio download they can download from your blog post. It can also be an MP3 file in an audio version of a podcast. So create a separate RSS and podcast feed for the audio version of your content. Syndicate that feed through iTunes and all the other podcast platforms, and you get some great distribution of an audio. Because a lot of people like to actually consume content in an audio format. I do a lot. I do a lot of running and cycling and listening to a lot of content in audio format. Even if it's a video that's not needed to have accompanying visuals, I'll often rip the audio out and put it on my iPod and listen to it while I'm driving to work or running, whatever it might be. So you want to try and give easy access to your content to your listeners and your subscribers through the modalities they want to get it. Now, the quick tip for step 7 is similar to the quick tip we spoke about in step 3, the video creation step. But this is going to Fiverr and getting someone to professionally create an audio intro and outro, a top and tail that makes your podcast sound professional through Fiverr. You can get these done for $5 or $10 and it really increases the professionalism of your podcast. Now, the next step in the content leverage system is to actually turn the video file and the audio file into a transcription or in written format for people who like to consume content in that modality. And the good thing is with step 8, it can actually happen as soon as step 2 is complete, because we're going to outsource the transcription based off the original audio file you recorded whilst walking through the mind map. And there's plenty of other places and plenty of services out there to actually get the transcription done. Obviously, you might have a general outsourcer who's on your staff who can do that for you, but also look at services like Fiverr.com. You can get transcriptions done very, very cost effectively through there. Or Casting Words is a great service that uses Amazon Turks, huge range of global employees, if you will, to actually come back and create good value, cost-effective transcriptions. So what you want to do then is, once you've got the original transcription, is to actually take that back to the blog post you created in step 4 and add that to the bottom of the video, allowing people who came to your blog the ability to read the content off your blog as well. This also helps search engine optimization because it's now got the contents and the words of that video in a format that's spiderable by the Google bots. There's some great WordPress plugins, if that's what you're using to host your blog, that allow you to have a show hide JavaScript function that will actually hide the transcription from the viewer, but allow people to hit a show button and then the transcription will appear. Still searchable by Google, completely white hat, but it makes it a little bit more user friendly. And a quick tip and a killer tip for step 8 is to actually take the transcription back to YouTube and the video you uploaded in step 4 as well, and add the full transcription as closed captioning or as a transcription for the video or as a description of the video. You can actually do all 3 of these things. You can add the transcription in a number of ways to YouTube videos that a lot of people don't know about. And this will help, again, rank your YouTube video in YouTube search results and in the Google SERPs, because it allows Google to actually easily see what the content is about. It allows them to actually read the audio. Plus, it actually helps you expand to a huge range of other people who like closed captioning on YouTube. It's a very small feature that a lot of people don't know about that can be very killer. So that's the quick tip for step 8. Now, once you have that transcription, what we want to actually do is use that for a whole range of other content syndication methods. And in step 9, we're going to take that transcription and create a PDF booklet out of it. You can create the PDF booklet for the transcription, format it nicely, embed the slides and the screenshots from the video template that your team created in step 3. When you outsourced the context creation, they created that slideshow for you, remember? You take the screenshots of that and embed it into the PDF document with the transcriptions. Once you have that PDF, you can syndicate it online using sources and platforms like Scribed, which is a PDF version of YouTube. It is simply a platform online where you can publish PDF documents that are searchable and findable in the same way YouTube is for videos. Another thing you can also do is create a podcast feed of just PDFs. You can do that and submit that to various podcast and RSS syndicators and places online that will actually grab that feed and syndicate the PDFs out. You can embed links into the PDF as well, so where you reference products or affiliate products or other web pages, you can make them clickable inside the PDF document, which makes it easier for viewers and readers to get back to your money pages or your opt-in pages and things like that. And the quick tip for step 9 in to speed up this process is get your team, when they create the video template in step 3, to export the slides as pictures, because you can actually drop them straight into the transcribed text in a Word document, for example, or a Pages document, and then print to PDF, and you have your file done very, very quickly. Rather than taking screenshots of the video and all that sort of messy stuff that I've seen so many people do so often, is at the template, the PowerPoint or Keynote stage, just export through the settings the slides as images, JPEGs or PNG images, and you can drop them straight into a Word document and then print to PDF, or save that Word document as a PDF document, and there you go. You may want to go to Fiverr and get a nice cover page created if you want to get that sort of crazy with your professionalism, but you can easily get that done by using that quick tip. Now, as you're probably starting to see, the syndication elements of this content leverage system are creating a huge range of unique pieces of content hitting different user consumption modalities by creating a wide area of link diversity. We're starting to get a huge syndication of this one piece of core content that you created very, very quickly, generating a lot of backlinks back to your blog or YouTube video, because in the descriptions of your podcast episodes, you can put links. In the PDF document, as I just mentioned, you've got links. In the various videos that have been syndicated across the web using HeySpread and Traffic Geyser and stuff like that, the descriptions have links back to your original blog post to help that rank for the main keyword that your team found in step 4 when they were using Market Samurai initially to work out what this video should be targeting from a keyword perspective. Now, once you've got that step 9 done and the PDF has been syndicated, we actually want to go and use step 10 to create an article by you. So what you want to do is turn that transcription into a standalone article by you. just as if you were going to sit down at the very start of this entire process and write a blog post or an article that you want to get syndicated. You can see here that writing can take a lot of time. What we've done is we try to fast track this by mind mapping your thoughts, recording an audio through that, and then we've come full circle to get it transcribed, and an editor or a person in your team who's probably going to be better at English, particularly with me, to actually create an article that's coherent and spelt right. Because what we want to do is once we take that standalone article that's had all the ums and the ahs taken out of it and has been, brought down to the core element, take out all the fluff and make it very focused. You can take that article and manually submit it to eZine Articles. You can make it a newsletter in your autoresponder sequence through Aweber, and you can get some article syndication that way. What we want to do is then also take the original article that's written by you and spin that article using an article spinning service. Because what this will do, it'll give you links back to your blog post or your original video. Because remember, articles by market leaders are great. They engage readers and they sell the content to the site owners who approve your article for publication on their websites or article directories based on you being the author. And the quick tip for step 10 is to include the YouTube video in the spin you create with the article spinning tool. This will help you get that video embedded on various blog posts throughout the spinner's network. And the more times that video is embedded across the web, the more votes that video kind of gets in the YouTube algorithm, which will help that rank in YouTube and also in Google. One tip from article spinning companies is that the best length of articles to spin is 300 words. So what you can actually do is break up your long video transcript into shorter articles as well. This will give you what Davey J refers to as more entries in the search engine lottery. Rather than taking this one transcript and creating one long article by you, why not break that article up into 4 or 5 parts that are 300 words long for smart syndication, as the article spinning companies advise. This means one article per branch of your mind map. So maybe you've got 5 or 6 branches. In this particular video that I'm doing for you now, there's about 13 or 14 branches. So each of those could be a separate 300-word article. You can sort of see how everything's actually starting to stem and grow off the original mind map. Once you've created your masterpiece of content, the mind map and the screen flow video, which using your team's leverage can be broken down into 300-word, high-quality, unique articles that can be spun by an article spinner into multiple versions, you're getting massive smart syndication power, as well as no duplicate content or copyscape issues. Particularly because you have written the content yourself. You don't have to have the issue of hired writers scraping content from other sites and passing off as their own. This is about producing unique content specific to your core content that you created in step 1 of this process. Once you've done step 10 and have had that original transcription turned into an article by you and syndicated smartly through an article spinning service, what we can do is move on to step 11 and have that transcription turn into a review article as well. So you can turn that transcription into a standalone review article about your video or about you. Kind of like a press release that sort of is someone else has consumed your content you created in the video format on YouTube or on your blog post and have written their thoughts, their take, their review, their summary, if you will, of that original piece of high quality content. Again, you can take that review article and spin it using an article spinner to get links back to your original blog post and your YouTube video. And again, just like the quick tip in step 10, you want to include the YouTube video in the spin context, or maybe some images from the PDFs that were initially created as well, just to show people taking actual screenshots. And in this element of the video, XYZ spoke about ABC. And you do that sort of stuff when you're doing your own review videos on your blogs and stuff like that. Quite often you'll do screenshots and embed them into your actual review article. Review articles are also a great way to help you syndicate and sell your articles to site owners. Site owners who are previewing your articles for syndication on their directories prefer third-party review style articles on their sites. And we're trying to hit all these angles here to make sure you're going to get smart syndication and the most amount of approvals for your particular piece of content possible through the article spinning and their distribution network to give you the most amount of backlink diversity. And that brings us to the end of the 11-step content leverage system, which is aimed to leverage your time, leverage your team, and leverage your content. To syndicate your content across the web to reach your audiences across different platforms and different modalities, effectively to give your content the widest reach possible. It's also designed to help you leverage a core piece of content for use with article spinning and distribution tools to get smart syndication and backlink diversity to achieve top rankings in the search engines. So to quickly recap what we covered in the system. The first thing we want to do is create a mind map of your thoughts and capture those into a software program like MindNode. We then want to actually record ourselves talking our way through the mind map using software like ScreenFlow or Camtasia. This will create the foundation of the piece of content we're going to syndicate through this system. We then moved on to step 3, where we started using our team to actually leverage the core piece of content we created, because they'll go off and create the video slides and mash those slides with the audio you recorded in step 2 to create a high quality video that you can use to syndicate across the web in step 4 and 5. Because in step 4 and 5, we took that video file and we actually uploaded it to YouTube, did some research using Market Samurai to target the right keywords for that video, and then also syndicated that video across different platforms targeting different keywords using tools like HeySpread, Traffic Geyser, or TubeMogul. We also took that video file and created a podcast to actually get reach through the iTunes store and their podcast directory. We then started to actually turn that original piece of content into a different modality, the audio style piece of content, to actually get syndication again through the iTunes podcast store or from MP3 download files you can put on your blog posts, you can tweet out, you can also syndicate across the web in various other forms in step 7. In step 8, we actually had our transcription team take the original audio file from the video we recorded as we walked and talked our way through the mind map to actually have a written format of the content. We took that, we put it back onto our blog post, and we also actually submitted it into the YouTube video for closed captioning and descriptions. We then, in step 9, created a PDF booklet out of that transcription with images and screenshots from the video to make a very readable PDF document we could syndicate across the web as well. In step 10, we started to use the power of article marketing through article spinning and distribution tools. We took that transcription and created an article by you that was of high quality that would help syndication and help the approvals and the process of getting on that article distribution network. We also created a review article from that piece of content to give a different feel to the content you were sharing and a different type of content that we could syndicate through the article distribution networks as well. So by following the steps of this system, we've taken a single piece of core content and leveraged teams and technology to create a number of different versions that addresses different modalities and reaches your audience on a number of different platforms, as well as creating content for smart syndication across a wide network of article sites, bringing us a diverse set of backlinks. And if you want to get really ninja with this system, you can take it to the next level and start doing stuff like press releases about the content to get more backlinks. Or if it's a high quality piece of content you actually want to sell, you can use this process as well. You still record the video of you talking through a mind map. You still have your team create all the reports and the videos and the audio formats, but then you can actually sell that content rather than syndicating it for free. You can take that content, those different modalities of content, and sell them through CD Baby for iTunes distribution. You can go to Kindle for ebook distribution of the PDF file. You can go to Amazon's Create Space service and take that and sell it in a printed format. Also, Kanaki is a great service for selling audio and DVD options. And I know some people who have actually done this even with free content and allowed people to actually purchase for 99 cents the PDF report if they want to, or purchase the CD version of the Kanaki file that you've linked to in your blog post. There's a whole lot of other ways you can take this and leverage it even further. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you've really seen how you can take this blueprint and actually implement it in your business to get more leverage out of your time and more leverage out of your actual content. Because that's what it's all about. It's about having a system that allows you to leverage your time, your team, and your content to make things more scalable. And as I promised at the start of the video, below this video are the different modalities available to you. So you'll be able to download the audio version, you'll be able to get the PDF version as well, and you'll have full understanding of how this system can work and leverage everything.